It's not the first Porsche I've owned, and probably won't be my last. But it might be my last 911. The price of these early cars are just going up and up, and there's just no longer in what I would call the affordable range. I'd actually like to sell this one. I'm between jobs, and we could really use the money right now. But the cost of the replacement is just, when I do get my job situation sorted out, it'd just be too much. So we're going to hold on to this one as long as we can. My name is Doug, and this is my 911. We bought this car in May of 2013. We lived in Cincinnati at the time and got the car in Jefferson City, Missouri. It's a 16-hour drive. We made it in 2 very long days. The trip back, it was raining the whole time. We had a horrible hotel experience. I had a headache the entire drive. It just wasn't fun, unfortunately. But the car was really flawless, other than a leaky windshield. But that was all dripping on the passenger side, so we just kept throwing towels down. One month after buying the 911, I lost my job. A job I had for more than 15 years. And after that layoff, we decided to pare down and chase a dream that we'd had about moving out west. So we sold the house and another car and a bunch of stuff, and we just picked up and moved out here to Portland. The 911 actually works pretty well out here. The mild climate means I can drive it more during the year. I don't, but I can. I hardly drive it. I hardly drive anything right now. Julie works from home, so when we go someplace, we usually take the Subaru. So the 911 just kind of sits in the garage on the battery tender. But occasionally I get it out, sometimes just to go for a drive or to meet up with other Porsche people in the area. I am at midlife right now, and I am in kind of a crisis, but that's not the reason for the Porsche. I've owned more than a dozen in the past 20 years. My first was a 944, normally aspirated, 88, and I'd owned that for 5 years. It was my only car. After that, it was a series of kind of old 911s and newer Boxsters. I couldn't decide which I liked better. I had to sell one for the other. And then more recently, I had a Cayman S I bought from my brother. The Cayman S is easily my favorite. It's just an amazing car to drive. But with the prices of 911s going up, I just had this sense of urgency to get back into an old one before I couldn't. So this 911 is a 1986 3.2 Carrera. Just crossed 150,000 miles. It's really mostly stock. It's not perfect. Certainly by looking at it you can tell that. But the previous owner rebuilt the motor, top and bottom end, so really it drives pretty well. And the imperfections just mean I can park it in a crowded lot and not worry about it. I think what I like most about it is just the personality of an old Porsche. It's so multi-sensory. I mean, it looks good, it's gorgeous in my opinion. It feels great from behind the wheel. The sound of that old air-cooled engine is amazing. I even like the way it makes the garage smell after you've been out for a run and it's been sitting. It's just something you don't get in any modern car. What I like least about it, easily the shifting. The 915 transmission is just not my favorite. Especially this one with 150,000 miles on it. It's just not fun. The heating and ventilation controls are also kind of ridiculous. Fortunately, I don't deal with them much here in this climate. If I want it cooler, I kind of just roll the windows down, and if I want it warmer, I roll them up. Maybe put a sweater on. So after a year of ownership, it's been pretty reliable. Not perfect, but it's an old car, so you take the bad with the good. When we bought the car in Ohio, it had a backdated performance exhaust on it, but when we moved here to Oregon, we had to update it again to pass emissions. So that wasn't cheap, but we were able to sell the parts from the performance exhaust to help kind of cover the cost, so in all, it wasn't that bad. not sure what my plans are for it. I certainly have a lot of ideas. Um, I'd most like to backdate it, make it into a long hood 911, but that's not cheap. So more likely I'll turn it into something simple and lightweight, something like a club sport kind of car. Hopefully with a color change. I don't like the red that much. It's just not me. But until then, I just plan to sort out some of the minor issues and maintain it and just enjoy it.